Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to learn about special forms of good and bad. Good and well are often confused when used in sentences. Good is an adjective that describes a noun or person or pronoun. Well is an adverb that describes a verb. Well is also used as an adjective only when talking about someone's health. These examples. Arctic air is a good source of moisture-producing cold air. Its good is describing the noun source. After being ill for 2 days, the Eskimo finally felt well. It's an adjective because it's describing the health of the Eskimo. Solar radiation reflects well from dry winter snow. Well is used as an adverb because it's telling how the solar radiation reflects. The adjectives good and bad and the adverbs well and badly are irregular. Most adjectives and adverbs add er or est or use more or most. Irregular adjectives and adverbs change the spelling of the word when comparing. This chart really does a good job of showing you how to use good and bad properly. So when you have the adjective good, when you're comparing two things, you use better. When you're comparing 3 or more things, you use best. This is very similar to adding er or est because better has er and best has est. So that can help you remember the rule that comparing 2 is better and comparing 3 or more is best. The adverb well. Remember, adverbs describe verbs. So when you're using well, if you're comparing 2 things, you use better. You're comparing 3 things or more, you use best. The adjective bad describes a noun. If you're comparing 2 things, you say worse. If you're comparing 3 or more things, you use worst. If I want to describe a verb and I want to say, that it was bad, then I would use badly. Comparing 2, I use worse. Comparing 3 or more, I use worst. So this chart can help you be a good reminder. I've uploaded a picture of this page so that you can look at this anytime you'd like. Let's look at some examples. Blank weather in the Arctic inland reaches highs of 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we know that this is describing the weather. Weather is a noun, so we choose good because good is an adjective. It describes a noun. The ice fisherman did not feel blank after being on the ice for several hours. Well, we're talking about the fisherman's health, so we use the adverb, or in this case we use it as an adjective, well. When we talk about someone's health, well is used as an adjective. Because Siberia's temperatures are so cold, people have to bundle up, and we're describing how they bundle up, so we need an adverb, so we use well. In these examples, W.A. Bentley is a blank photographer of snow scenes than of wild animals. We're comparing the photographer and how he takes pictures. We're comparing his snow scene pictures to his wild animal pictures, so we're comparing 2 things. So we have to use better because we use better when comparing 2 things. Inland Arctic temperatures are blank than those along the coast. Well, we're comparing inland and coastal temperatures, so we're comparing 2 things. So we would use worse because we use worse when we're comparing 2. Last night was the blank snowstorm in January. Well, we're talking about all the storms in January altogether. So that is 3 or more, so we would use worst. The blank danger from a heavy mountain snowfall is avalanche. Well, there's a lot of possible dangers in a heavy snowfall in a mountain area. So since we're comparing all of them and it's more than 2, we use worst. The wet ground soaks up water, blank, than dry snow-covered ground. So we're comparing 2 types of ground, wet ground and snow-covered ground. So since we're comparing 2 items, we use better. Again, this chart will help you know when you're using good, you're using it as an adjective and it's describing a noun. We use well as an adverb when we're describing a verb. The only time well is used as an adjective is when we're discussing someone's health. When we use the adjective bad and we want to compare 2, we say worse. When we're comparing 3 or more, we say worst. When we want to use the adverb badly, like Joe performed badly on the baseball field. Badly is describing how Joe performed, so we're just talking about him by himself. If we wanted to say, the game today was worse than the game last week, I'm comparing 2 games, so I use worse. If I wanted to say, that was the worst storm we'd had in the whole month of April, I'm talking about all the storms in the whole month of April, so I would say worst. In your activity today, you have this chart on the page that was printed out. You have the video and the worksheet. Most of it is multiple choice, and I think you're going to do a great job. Remember, if you have any questions, please let one of your teachers know by email or text. Thank you.